Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Armed Forces of the Philippines targets to launch new military command in charge of strategic operations. Philippine Army facilitates burial of deceased NPA rebel in Capiz. PRC and NKTI promotes public awareness program on organ donation. DICT Google join forces against fake news.
Good day, everyone, as well as our troops at Camp Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City. Today is Friday, 2nd day of May, and we will bring you the latest news in the armed forces and other information around the Philippines. In behalf of Ralph Suzon, this is Jhai Simbajon for AFP Community News.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines is preparing to establish a new military command before the end of the year in a strategic move to bolster the country's national defense posture. According to AFP spokesperson Colonel Francel Margaret Padilla, the new unit will focus on high-level strategic operations designed to improve the military's readiness and capability to deter external threat. Colonel Padilla emphasized that the command will not only enhance operational coordination across different branches of the AFP, but also play a key role in overseeing joint military exercises. These exercises will be conducted in collaboration with the country's long-standing allies and defense partners, further strengthening international security ties and interoperability.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the 12th Infantry Battalion, in coordination with the local government of Tapas Capiz, has facilitated the burial of a former Noon People's Army member. The remains were identified as Gino Giganto, also known as alias Luyong, whose body was exhumed on April 21, 2025. According to former comrades, Giganto died from illness brought on by prolonged hardship and lack of medical care while living in the mountains as part of the armed struggle. Meanwhile, the 12th IB continues to call on active rebels to lay down their arms and rejoin society, assuring them of government support and reintegration programs.
DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio.
For other details, let us hear the details about the Western Mindanao Command expresses support for the signing of mutual understanding and activation of peace mechanism between GPH and MILF. Go ahead for the details, Gina.
Ceremonial signing of the guidelines for mutual understanding between the government of the Philippines, Moro Islamic Liberation Front, and the Ad Hoc Joint Action Group for ceasefire-related functions held at Camp Darapanan, Crossing Simuay, Sultan Kudarat, Maguindanao del Norte. The guidelines for mutual understanding were signed by Brigadier General Patricio Ruben Amata, Acting Chairman, GPH CCCH and Deputy Commander, Joint Task Force Central, Police Major General Romaldo Baiting, Chairman, GPH AHJAG, Honorable Butch Malang, Chairman MILF CCCH and Director Anwar Alamada, Chairman MILF AHJAG. The said initiative aims to ensure a peaceful, orderly and credible elections on May 12, 2025 through the activation of the GPH-MILF Peace Mechanism Quick Response Team and the implementation of the newly signed ceasefire guidelines. Meanwhile, West Mincom Commander Lieutenant General Antonio G. Navarrete, Philippine Army, highlighted the significance of the event and said that the initiative is a statement of the Armed Forces commitment to peace as the NLE 2025 is fast approaching. This is Gina reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gina.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the Office of the Assistant Chief of Naval Staff for Education, Training and Doctrine, or N8, held its second research colloquium at the Philippine Navy headquarters in Manila. The event is part of the Philippine Navy's 127th anniversary celebration with the theme Advancing Maritime Strength, Innovations and Strategies for a Modernized Philippine Navy. The colloquium featured research studies from Navy personnel and affiliated R&D centers aimed at supporting leadership and policymakers in aligning doctrines and policies with a unified approach to external defense. In his remarks, Vice Commander of the Philippine Navy, Major General Edwin Amadar, highlighted the importance of research in driving informed decisions, strategic foresight, and operational effectiveness. The event also underscored the Navy's commitment to protecting the country's maritime domain, in line with the comprehensive archipelagic defense concept and the active archipelagic defense strategy.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And over 300 young people gathered at the Civic Arena in Poblacion, Quezon, Bukidnon for a youth awareness campaign led by the 89th Infantry Battalion. The event was held in partnership with the Municipal Public Safety Office, the local Youth Development Office, and the SK Federation, which aims to educate and protect the youth from recruitment by armed groups. One of the highlights of the activity is a discussion which focused on the 7 stages of recruitment used by the CPP-NPA-NDF, paired with an orientation on the Philippine Army's official recruitment process. The program also featured a live military demonstration by Charlie Company, showcasing discipline, tactical skills, and teamwork, offering participants a glimpse into the life of a soldier.
DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let us hear more from Jhai about Viscom. Commander leads series of unit visits in Western Visayas and Negros Island. Shaira?
Yes, good afternoon. Visayas Command Commander Lieutenant General Fernando M. Reyeg, Philippine Army, led a series of unit visits across Western Visayas and Negros Island. Lieutenant General Reyeg personally engaged with troops from the 82nd Infantry Battalion in Banga, Aklan, the 3rd Infantry Division Joint Task Force Spear in Hamindan, Capiz, the 11th Infantry Battalion in Shaton, Negros Oriental, the 47th Infantry Battalion in Mabinay, Negros Oriental, and the 79th Infantry Battalion in Sagay City, Negros Occidental. Highlight of the visit was the recognition of 46 officers and enlisted personnel. 13 were awarded with the Gold Cross Medal, 13 were honored with the Silver Cross Medal, 6 were conferred with the Military Achievement Medal, and 14 were awarded the Military Merit Medal. Meanwhile, the said visits aim to assess the progress of the ongoing security and stability campaign in Western Visayas and Negros Island, as well as the readiness of the troops tasked for election duty for the upcoming midterm national and local elections. This is Jhai Rivera reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Shaira.
DWDD Armed Forces.
And the 1st Infantry Division has bolstered its security operations for the May 12, 2025 national and local elections with the deployment of 2 division reconnaissance companies. The 23rd and 72nd Division reconnaissance companies have been sent to key areas under the operational control of Joint Task Force Zampelan. This move is part of the Armed Forces of the Philippines' ongoing efforts to ensure peace and order during the election period. The units will focus on area assessments, securing vital locations, and providing rapid response when necessary. JTF Zampelan Commander Major General Yegor Ray Baroquillo Jr. stressed the importance of the deployment and highlighted the need for strong interagency coordination during the elections.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And for our national news,
DWDD National News.
the Philippine Red Cross and the National Kidney and Transplant Institute signed a memorandum of agreement to raise public awareness on organ and tissue donation among Filipinos. Central to the agreement is human organ preservation effort, the official organ retrieval and donation program of the Department of Health. PRC Chairman and CEO Richard Gordon said this program gives the people the power to decide for themselves. PRC Secretary General Gwen Pang said the initiative would revive a project created in 2014 by the DOH and the Philippine Network for Organ Sharing called I Am a Lifeline campaign, wherein 2,000 organ donors were recruited.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear a report on the ground about Northern Luzon Command. Armed Forces of the Philippines promotes WPS advocacy and AFP recruitment at Labor Day job fairs. Go on for the details, Joanne.
In support of the Northern Luzon Command's trust, the first Civil Relations Group CRS-AFP participated in two major job fairs and caravan services on Labor Day, May 1, 2025 in Tarlac and Baguio City in collaboration with the Provincial Employment Service Office Tarlac and the Department of Labor and Employment Cordillera in celebration of the 123rd Labor Day with the theme Manggagawang Pilipino, kaagapay sa pagunlad sandigan ng mas matatag na bagong Pilipinas. The first CRG-CRS-AFP led the promotion of West Philippine Sea advocacy and military recruitment through the distribution of leaflets and a photo gallery display. The job fair and caravan serve as a platform for fostering appreciation for the country's sovereignty and territorial rights, promoting military careers and strengthening the role of Filipinos in nation building and peace and development. Meanwhile, on Labor Day, NOLCOM Commander Lieutenant General Farnil G. Buca extended a heartfelt tribute to the nation workers, calling them the country's silent heroes. He further recognizes the vital role workers play in nation building and highlights the shared commitment to values that drive both the workforce and the military toward a common goal. This is John Sagok reporting for AFP Community News 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne.
DWDD. National News.
And digital literacy campaigns and content moderation to combat fake news will be enhanced through a partnership between the Department of Information and Communications Technology and Google Philippines. Under this partnership, Google will strengthen detection of AI-powered content, enhance human moderation, and tighten the enforcement of YouTube community guidelines. The ICT Secretary Henry Ruel Aguda said the initiative is a teamwork for truth. He emphasized that the ICT and Google are building stronger defenses against disinformation and giving every Filipino the tools to thrive in the digital world.
DWDD. National News.
And more than 1.2 million commuters were given free rides across 3 rail lines in Metro Manila on the first day of the Labor Day Libreng Sakay initiative. The Department of Transportation cited the figure was at an all-time high in Libreng Sakay ridership across the LRT1, LRT2, and the Metro Rail Transit Line 3. The DOTR also said that this underscores the program's significant impact and the overwhelming positive response from the public. The 4-day free ride program started on April 30 and will end on May 3.
DWDD. National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And we have a report coming in from Bea about Philippines and New Zealand sign visiting forces deal. Bea?
Yes, Jhai, Philippine Secretary of National Defense Gilberto C. Chodoro Jr. and Her Excellency Judith Collins KCMP, Minister of Defense of New Zealand, signed the Philippines-New Zealand Status of Visiting Forces Agreement or SOVFA at Malacanang Palace. The said signing, witnessed by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., reaffirmed the two countries' commitment to strengthening defense relations. During the activity, both officials emphasized their shared commitment to deepening defense cooperation between the Philippines and New Zealand. Meanwhile, the SOVFA provides a legal framework for the entry and presence of military personnel for joint defense activities. This Beatrice reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Bea.
DWDD. National News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. assured workers that the government would be their active partners as he paid tribute to the hardships and sacrifices of the country's workforce on Labor Day. PBBM acknowledged the workers' contribution in the country's progress. He then vowed to provide concrete measures to address the needs of workers and their families. The president had earlier cited the active participation of various government departments in government-led job fairs.
DWDD. National News.
And the Department of Agriculture will defer the full implementation of the 20 peso per kilo rice program until the May 12 midterm elections. Agriculture Secretary Francisco Tsu Laurel Jr. said the selling of rice by local government units will start on May 13. General Laurel led the launching of the program in Cebu yesterday. He assured them that there will be no issue on the quality of rice and the delay will only be for a few days. COMELEC Chairman George Erwin Garcia earlier advised the government to defer the implementation of the project to avoid being accused of politicizing the rice rollout.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear from Jess about Tactical Operations Group 5 conducts aerial inspection in Sorsogon over Mount Bulusan after eruption. Jess?
In response to the sudden eruption of Mount Bulusan on April 28, 2025, Tactical Operations Group 5 Philippine Air Force, together with the 505th Search and Rescue Group, Office of Civil Defense Region 5, PDRRMO Sorsogon, and MDRRMO Bulusan conducted an aerial inspection over affected areas in Sorsogon. The aerial mission covered the municipalities of Irusin, Huban, and Bulusan, capturing high-resolution images to assess the extent of ashfall, potential lahar flow paths, and overall condition near the crater. The inspection revealed widespread ash deposits on homes, roads, and farmlands. Moreover, the data gathered was immediately turned over to the Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council to support swift response and relief operations. Meanwhile, the 505th SRG remain on standby for any possible emergency evacuations, and OCD-5 ensures the coordination of logistics and dissemination of findings to local government units. This coordinated aerial operation underscores the Philippine Air Force's crucial role in rapid disaster assessment and response, strengthening the government's commitment to protecting communities in high-risk areas. This is Jess from Solcom reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jess.
DWDD National News.
And Bulusan volcano in Sorsogon logged a weak eruption yesterday. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology Observatory based in Sorsogon City said Bulusan erupted at around 1:30 p.m. Sorsogon Public Information Officer Dong Mendoza reported that no ashfall was recorded following the eruption. Bulusan is under alert level 1 or low volcanic unrest.
DWDD National News.
And 4 local government units in Negros Island are set to receive 203.8 million in additional funding from the national government. This aims to support the ongoing response efforts related to the Candaon volcano. Office of the Civil Defense Undersecretary Ariel Nepomuceno said Himamaylan City will receive 62.5 million, 63.1 million for La Carlota City, and 48.5 million for La Castellana, all in Negros Occidental. Meanwhile, Canlaon City in Negros Oriental will receive 29.7 million. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. approved the funding 2 weeks ago.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear from Leonor about Cagayan Valley RJTF-LCAC conducts first quarter full meeting calendar year 2025. Leonor?
The Cagayan Valley Regional Joint Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict conducted its first quarter full meeting for calendar year 2025, held at Tala Hall, Camilchor, De La Cruz, OP, Gamu, Isabela. The activity aimed to assess the extent of progress and accomplishment of LCAC programs in communities affected by local communist insurgency and serve as a platform to evaluate ongoing efforts, identify challenges, and align strategies to strengthen peace building and development initiatives in the region. During the meeting, National Secretariat of the NTF-LCAC, Undersecretary Ernesto Torres Jr., conducted the orientation on the 2025-2028 National Action Plan and Unity, Peace and Development, highlighting the importance of convergence and localized solutions. Meanwhile, 5th Infantry Division Commander Major General Gulliver Senieres and Philippine Army reaffirmed the military support to collaborative peace and development efforts in the region. This is Leonor Tanap reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Leonor.
DWDD National News.
And residents in low-lying areas of Bustos, Bulacan were alarmed on Thursday after Rubber Gate 3 of Bustos Dam collapsed, sparking concerns over possible flooding. dam operators quickly issued an advisory assuring the public that the incident poses no serious flood risk. Operators explained that Rubber Gate 3, measuring about 5 meters wide, is significantly smaller than the 20 to 30 meter wide Angat River. As a result, only a limited amount of water was released, flowing harmlessly into the river.
DWDD National News.
And Education Secretary Sonny Angara vowed to strengthen interventions among students after a survey found that 18 million Filipino graduates were functionally illiterate. Based on the Philippine Statistics Authority's Functional Literacy Education and Mass Media Survey, only 70.8% of Filipinos, or around 60.17 million, are functionally literate. Functionally literate are those who have higher level comprehension skills going beyond basic reading, writing, and numeracy. Angara emphasized that they will never allow any child to be left behind in reading and comprehension, noting that the survey results on functional literacy highlighted the literacy must be at the heart of the education reforms.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
More updates from JR about 1st Infantry Division Commander visits Campilan Division. JR?
1st Infantry Tabak Division Commander Major General Rigor Ray P. Baroquillo, Jr., Philippine Army, paid a visit to the 6th Infantry Campilan Division at Camp Shongko, Awang Datodin, Sunsuan, Maguindanao del Norte. Major General Baroquillo was accorded with military honors and was warmly received by 6th Infantry Division and Joint Task Force Central Commander Major General Donald M. Gumiran. This visit highlights the two units' productive collaboration, especially in strengthening cooperation, improving operational coordination, and supporting common goals. Meanwhile, Major General Baroquillo is a member of Philippine Military Academy Tanglao Diwa, Class 1992, who served as a Chief of Staff of the Philippine Army prior to his assumption as Commander of Tabak Division. This is JR reporting for AFP Community News. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, JR.
DWDD National News.
And for our final news, the Caraga Regional Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board announced a 20 peso increase for minimum wage earners starting yesterday. Caraga RTWPB Secretary Earl de la Victoria explained that the increase raised Caraga's minimum wage to 435 pesos. He noted that this is good news for Caraga-Unon workers. De la Victoria then expressed hope that the business establishments will adhere to the new minimum wage rate. Dole Caraga Director Jason Balais also urged the businessmen to comply with the new minimum wage rate to avoid violation of labor laws.
DWDD National News.
And that's all for today's broadcast. Thank you for joining us, especially to our audience in our Facebook page, AFP Radio DWDD. Don't forget to tune in next week for more updates, same time, same station. Again, this is Jhai Simbajon for AFP Community News. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.